teaching, and the more she teaches, she learns better. So without wasting any more time, we welcome Abanji for today evening's program. Welcome, Abanji.
Thank you very much, Vimal. It's very nice to see you on the screen. We have been in touch with each other, but today face to face with each other. Anyway, before I start, I would like to say a short Zoroastrian prayer. Aya yasam nebangaha ustano justo rafedreya maniyusha mazda pauravim spentaya asha vispenga shothna Vangehush Khartam Manangaho ya Khasane Visha Guerecha Urvanem. This is a very ancient language, ancient Avasta. I'll translate. To him I pray with humble, grateful heart and hands uplifted for the perfect bliss. O Mazda's Holy Spirit, first I pray through Asha, so true knowledge I gain. And to Bahumano's loving wisdom too, and thus bring solace to the soul of the earth and to the world at large. Amen. At the outset, I would like to thank Brother Pradeepji Mahapatraji, the National Lecturer of Indian Section, T.S. Varanasi, for giving me this opportunity to speak today to this august gathering on Zoom platform. I bring greetings from Bombay Theosophical Federation, Blavatsky Lodge, Mumbai, and Shanti Lodge, Mumbai. My today's topic on Zoroastrianism has been divided into two parts. One, history of Zoroastrianism in ancient Persia, now Iran, with the teachings of Prophet Zarathustra. And the second part, Persians immigrating to India 700 AD due to Arabs' invasion and our religious ceremony, customs, and rituals followed in India by Parsis till date. I will try to correlate my talk in the light of Theosophy, because after all, what is Theosophy? Theosophy is the ancient wisdom, and Zoroastrianism is one of the most ancient religions of the world. Zoroastrianism takes its name from the prophet Zoroaster. His Persian name is Zarathustra, meaning thereby golden shining star. However, the Greeks called him Zoroaster, hence the religion is Zoroastrianism. It is also known as Mazdayasni Zarthushti Din because even before the birth of this last incarnating soul of Zarathustra, some 6,000 years ago, the Persians followed this religion of Ahura Mazda, the supreme and transcendental God. Before the birth of the last prophet Zarathustra, there was chaos and cruelty brought on people by ruthless, unscrupulous rulers. So, in answer to Mother Earth's request for peace and freedom on earth, Ahura Mazda sent Zarathustra. At the birth of Zarathustra, all nature rejoiced with these words. Ushtano zato atravayo spitama Zarathustra, meaning, blessed are we that the prophet Zarathustra is born. However, there is some ambiguity regarding the age of this great religion. Some historians and European Orientalists have put the birth of the prophet 4000 BC, that is almost 6,000 years today. Aristotle places the birth of the prophet to 9,600 years before Christ. However, Dr. Annie Besant, in her book Zoroastrianism, says that occultism throws the beginning of his teachings far back, age after age, behind all these dates. When we speak such a line of prophets, it by no means follows that each prophet is a separate individual. No, it is the same soul often reincarnates time after time in the same office as the need be. Such men as, say, Veda Vyasa had not one birth only upon earth, but many births. For these men are always living in touch with earth. Tracing down this line of prophets, we begin to see that the Zoroaster spoken by Aristotle 9,600 BC was seventh in the line of this name from the original Zoroaster. The Persians, coming forth from the same cradle land as the first family, but spreading westward over the vast extent of territory, which includes modern Iran and ancient Persia. They were led in their first migration by the great prophet Zarathustra, who was of the same position that Manu held to the original Aryan race. He belonged to the great mighty brotherhood and was a high initiate of the same great lodge, taught by the same teachers, the sons of the fire. Many of you will have read in those most ancient records from the Book of Zion, given in the secret doctrine of the sons of the fire, who were the instructors of all great initiates, called in turn the lords of the flame. So this is the connection of Zoroastrianism with our Theosophy. There are many more. As I read, you will get it. Occultists throw the beginning of his teachings far back, age after age, behind all these dates. They have two kinds of records to rely on. First, the Great Brotherhood has preserved the ancient writings themselves, taken away at the time when they were written. These writings are safely stored in underground temples, underground libraries, where no enemy can find them. There, millennium after millennium, the knowledge of the world is gathered in its written form. And then, and there are men and women today who have been permitted to set eyes on these ancient writings. Those are the clairvoyants. Secondly, the occultists depend also on those imperishable records, written, as we say, the Akashic records. They are like photographs, as it were, of the evolution of man, correct down to the tiniest incident, and which at any time may be read by those who train themselves for the study and are willing to undergo the discipline necessary for such research. We all know that Madame Blavatsky, Dr. Annie Besant, Bishop Leadbeater, they were all great clairvoyants, and they must have seen all these records. According to those records, Zoroastrianism, the religion of the Parsis, is the second of the religions of the Aryan stock. So Hinduism as well as Zoroastrianism is of Aryan stock. Zarathustra was born to father Paurushaspa and mother Dogdo, who were highly commendable pure souls. It is said that at the birth, he had a smile on his face and that his aura spread light all over the town. His opponents somehow came to know that their nemesis is approaching, and so they tried to kill the child several times. However, through divine intervention, his life was saved. Pradeepji, please show the picture of Zarathustra here. Number 1 picture. No, this number 1 where Zarathustra is given. Number 2, here in your file, it is number 2. Yes. So this is the Zarathustra and this is the fire which we always pray to. Occultists throw the... No, Zarathustra grew up as a youth given to deep meditation and spent 10 years in mountain retreat learning to solve many problems of life that baffled men. Ahura Mazda, the Almighty God, revealed to him the divine message of purity, uprightness, love, charity, and truth, and also to follow the dictums of Humata, Hukata, Huvarashta, that is, good thoughts, good words, and good deeds. This was the first ancient monotheistic religion that believed in one God, preached by Zarathustra at a time when the ancestors of Western nations were offering human victims to their deities. He also taught about the antithesis between right and wrong, conflict between good and evil, the temptations placed by the evil one called Angra, and the triumph of Spenta by not succumbing to the evil. Sir, please show the second picture of Ameshaspantas. 7 Ameshaspantas, second picture. In your, it may be third. Seven Ameshaspantas, he preached that there is only one absolute supreme, all-pervasive source and fountain of life called Ahura Mazda, who is assisted by 6 Ameshaspantas, the holy Imha. These are these Ameshaspantas in one of the, actually you will see here 7, but one is Zarathustra himself. So the holy immortals or archangels emanating from Ahura Mazda and representing the living intelligence by whom the worlds were made and sustained. These Ameshaspantas are helped by 33 Yazatas, that is angels. Ameshaspantas are the archangels and Yazatas are the angels in their work. This is the religion which is eco-friendly, believing in preserving and respecting all creations of nature and not to exploit it, as that would seriously disturb all creations of nature and that is to the detriment of mankind. And it will disturb seriously the ecological balance also. It also preaches that Ashoi, that is purity, of not only body and mind, but also purity of environment and all elements of nature like fire, water, air, earth, space, plant life, and animal life must be preserved and loved. Sun especially mentioned the most beautiful body of God, which gives light on earth. But people needed a symbol which is small in compass, which would remind his glory, that is light, heat, energy, vitality, and virility. So fire became a symbol. Next to sunlight, there is a fire which can be kept in our homes. These temples, the Mazdayasni people founded temples and tended the fire. These temples are known as fire temples or Atash Bhera. Atash, that is fire, is considered to be the most adorable son of Ahura Mazda, the emblem of the most bountiful creator. It does not borrow the heat and light from any other creations, but bestows them upon others. Every Zoroastrian bows to the sacred fire which burns in the fire temples in his home. The consecrated fires in the fire temples not only give out light and heat from the altar, but within the shrine is the khure, that is aura of the Almighty, yet glowing through the presence of invisible guardian angel. Our homage is thus to this occult presence that is supposed to bless the devotees who offer their devotion. There are several other aspects of fire, though invisible but real. They are the energy within each atom, one that makes a seed and a cell to reproduce a vital essence, the fire of emotions, the fire of quick decisions and inspiration, the fire that burns all dross in character through willpower, and the fire that is our inner instructor. Zarathustra's message of purity, righteousness, truth, and love was for entire humanity. Ahura Mazda remained the one, the omniscient source of existence. He unfolded the twin forces of nature, namely Spentamainu, the benevolent spirit, that is life aspect, and Angramainu, that is destructive spirit or form aspect. According to Zarathustra's own explanation in Gathas, good and evil are twins. He calls them life and non-life that are contrary in every respect, so that man should learn to distinguish between the real nature of both. The principle of evil is but absence of life, which is cramping material garb of every life. In other words, darkness is but absence of light. Falsehood is absence of truth. Ugliness is lack of beauty. And so is gross matter devoid of eternal life. Since we humans are endowed with thinking mind, we have freedom of choice to follow the right path. His triple aspects are Ahu, the creator, Vahumana, good mind, the preserver, and Asha Vahishta, the reconstructor. Reincarnations in Gathas. There are two schools of thought as regards the law of reincarnation. There is no disputing the possibility of human soul reaching perfection within the space of this one life on earth, provided they are fervent souls, ardent in zeal, and sincere in their toil. We have read in the Man book, some of our masters, they had only within one life, they could achieve enlightenment and they need not reincarnate. But how many souls will be there who are so highly evolved that they need not incarnate again? And also, what about the souls not so evolved? We see in our day-to-day life that one man will suffer in life in spite of leading a good, virtuous life, whereas another being not so good enjoys the life to the fullest. Here, the law of karma works. This is acceptable more or less by all Parsis. Hence, it implies that, like it or not, one has to take rebirth at the given time, and law of reincarnation applies to all except the souls of the masters. The theory of evolution and the creation. There are 6 gambars, that is time period, during which entire universe came into being. This is so similar to our book Man, where man whence, how, and whither, where we had done all these things. The same thing I'll be telling you that in Zoroastrianism also we have the same. There are time periods, Maidya Gatha, period in which heavenly canopy was formed, Akash. Maidya Gatha, period in which water was precipitated from the steaming clouds, like rivers and lakes and wells. Then Paithasithim Gatha, period in which earth became consolidated out of cosmic atoms so that we could stand on the earth and build our homes and live there. Ayathrim Gatha, that is the period which earth gave birth to vegetables. That is, all plant life came into life. Then Hamispatham Gatha, period in which animal life culminated into man. I'm sorry, Maidyaram Gatha, period in which vegetation evolved into animal life. And Hamispitham Gatha, that is the 3rd time period in which animal life culminated into man with fully developed consciousness and intelligence. So as if we are only talking on Theosophy, it seems, but this is all there in our holy ancient book of Gatha. To commemorate these periods on certain days, according to Zoroastrian calendar, special prayers are offered in the fire temples, and people of all strata of society, rich and poor, young and old, partake in the feast sitting together, showing the real camaraderie. The religion of Zarathustra was not easily accepted by the people of Persia, naturally, because they were all paganism. They did not believe in one God. So he found it, Zarathustra found it very difficult. But Zarathustra, with great courage and purity of soul, overcame all this adversary and was eventually successful to convince the present king at that time, King Vishtaspa, who accepted Zarathustra's message and made Zoroastrianism the state religion. From now onwards, Zoroastrianism flourished. They followed the path of righteousness, purity, and truth. Since Zoroastrianism was the state religion, the priests and scholars were encouraged to write the books on prayers, religion, science, and literature flourished. Annie Besant writes in the book of Zoroastrianism, I quote, out of the teachings of religious philosophy and of science, there grew up the ethic which down to the present day is the glory of the Zoroastrian creed. I will just divert a little bit. You all must have seen the WhatsApp messages or on the TV. No one has said Ratan Tata was rich, but they have said he was a man of ethics. Am I right? Yes, he was a man of ethics, and Tata group of companies follow this till today. The most unfortunate history of Persia is that a rich library of Persepolis was burnt down by the Greek emperor Alexander in 329 BC. Only some remnants of these books remained. They are the Visparad and Yasanas, which comprise of 5 gathas or hymns which came from the mouth of the prophet himself in conversation with Ahura Mazda. When he had gone to the mountains, he had meditated and Ahura Mazda gave him audience, and whatever the conversation that took place between the almighty Ahura Mazda and his prophet Zarathustra is in the Gathas. These are the 5 Gathas: Ahunavaiti, Ushtavaiti, Spainthamainu, Baukhashtra, and Vaishtoishti. The oldest language is Avesta, now extinct except in the prayer books. Out of 21 nasks, that is treatises, which dealt with medicine, astronomy, agriculture, botany, philosophy, with whole range of science and laws, only one remained. All were burnt down and they all perished. However, from that one book, the priests and scholars put together whatever they could and continued with life. In course of time, many battles were won and lost. But I will talk about first battle won by Emperor Cyrus the Great in 550 BC at Babylon, and the last battle which was lost by King Yazdazerd in 640 AD after death of Christ. Sir, please put the picture of Cyrus the Great and the cylinder. Yes. Cyrus the Great, you can see here, Cyrus the Great is well known for his mercy and human rights. His first conquest was in 550 BC, before Christ, when he conquered Babylon and freed all captive Jews to go back to their homeland. And today, see what is happening to that homeland. He helped them build the Temple of Solomon in Jerusalem. He's spoken of very highly by the Jews as the anointed of the Lord. You all must have heard about the Cyrus cylinder. Sir, show the cylinder, Cyrus cylinder, which is now in British Museum. It is a clay cylinder on which is written a declaration in cuneiform script. It is recognized as the world's first charter of human rights. The Cyrus cylinder is number 4, sir. Immediately after the Cyrus picture. It is recognized as the world's, yes, this is the one. It is a bit broken, but then this is very old. It is recognized as the world's first charter of human rights. It is translated into 6 official languages of United Nations, and its provisions parallel the first 4 articles of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which is there today for everyone to follow. The last battle that was fought on the Persian soil was by King Yazdazerd in 641 AD, after death of Christ, which he lost to the Arabs. This changed the history and geography of the Zarthushtris of Persia, but not their religion, Zoroastrianism. Arabs wanted the Zarthushti to accept Islam as their religion or face persecution. Hence, to save the religion, the learned dasturs or priests decided to bid farewell to their dear country, Persia, and set sail to the south, to a country with which they had trade relations, that is India. They left the port of Paras in Persia, and so when they landed in India, they were known as Parsis. In the second part of my talk, I will now speak how we Zoroastrians left our motherland Persia and set sail to India and integrated with the Indians and lived peacefully till date. Now, a new chapter started in the lives of the Zarthushtris, who were known as Parsis by the Indians. Sir, now please show the picture of Jadi Rana, the Indian king of Gujarat. Ah, that's it. Thank you very much. The legend goes that in 700 AD, when Zoroastrians landed on a small port of the west coast of India, Sanjan, the head of that princely state, King Jadi Rana, you can see the king sitting on the throne. Here is the king sitting on the throne. King Jadi Rana refused to give shelter, stating that there is no place in his kingdom to add any more people, since neither of the party could understand each other's language. The Indian king showed a bowl of milk. You can see there is a bowl of milk here in the hand, filled to the brim, indicating that there is no space in his land. Then the learned head priest took out some sugar and put it in the milk. You can see the sugar being put into the bowl, indicating that we are very few, and as the sugar sweetens the milk, we will blend with you all and sweeten your country. The king was impressed and welcomed the Persians to live and practice the religion, but with certain conditions, as to learn the language Gujarati, which was the state language. Men and women should change the dress code and dress up as they do, and not to proselyte, that is, convert anyone into Zoroastrianism, and many more. I'm proud to say that we fulfilled all these conditions and made our adopted country, India, as our own, and worked for the prosperity at all times, blending with them as promised, with milk and sugar, sweetening the milk. Recently, we lost the gem of a man of our Zoroastrian community, Ratan Tata of Tata Empire. And you all must have witnessed the outpouring of emotions of the entire populace of our nation to mourn his death. Such men are born once in a century. a titan of Indian industry, a great leader with high ethics, unconditional love for humans as well as animals, and above all, a great philanthropist par excellence. Rest in peace, Adyar Ratan. The Zarthushtras started in their adopted land, India. Since they were given the liberty to follow their religion, they scrupulously followed the rites and rituals which they followed in Persia. They built fire temples. Sir, please show the picture of Udvada fire temple. Atash Beram. Yes, this is the one. They built fire temples, big and small, and followed all the liturgical prayers, traditions, and customs. The biggest fire temple in India is in a small town in Gujarat named Udvada on the west coast of Gujarat, where Zarthushtris from all over the world come to pay their obeisance and pray to the highest of the high fire burning there. In course of time, they started business and industries. They had trade relations with neighboring countries as well as with China. The house of Tata, with their ethical business techniques, created huge empire of industries, started by Jamshedji Tata. Another Jamshedji Jijiboy, another great philanthropist, J.J. Hospital of Mumbai stands in his name. The Wadiyas were the first shipbuilders whose ships sailed the oceans of the world as far back as early 18th century. The Pittits, the Godrejs, the house of architect Shapurji Palanji, Cyrus and Adyar Poonawalla of Serum Institute of India, and more industrialists and business houses came on the scene. The military man, Field Marshal Sam Manekshaw, legal luminaries, Nani Palkhiwala, Soli Sorabji, Fali Nariman, and not the least great theosophist, our high priest of yore, Dr. Khurshid Dabu, educationist Minu Mullah, and many more were the earlier theosophists when Theosophy came to Bombay. Patriotism was no less in the blood of Zarthushtris. Dadabhai Nauroji, Madam Bhikhaiji Kama, Veer Nariman, Firoz Shah Mehta, and many more came up. Parsis believed in the dictum, happiness is to those who make others happy. Automatically, happiness comes to us if we give happiness to others. Hence, they shared their wealth with others, especially with the lower strata of society. Many charitable institutions like old age homes, hospitals for people, as also for animals, were built. Educational institutions like schools, colleges for higher studies also started by them. Because of this altruism and philanthropy, the adage, Parsi, thy name is charity, became prevalent. However, the community never exceeded in number. That is in population. That is our bad luck compared to other Indians. They participated in independence movement of India and donated handsome amounts for the fight for independence. Dadabhai Nauroji, the great old man of India, inspired Mahatma Gandhi to fight for independence. Gandhiji once said, Parsis, I quote, Parsis in number are beneath contempt, but in charity beyond compare. Dadabhai Nauroji, if you recall, was the member of the parliament in London. He was the first one, British parliament, to become the MP there. Our elder brethren of Theosophy were enamored by the Zoroastrian religion and its philosophy. Colonel H.S. Olcott gave several lectures on Zoroastrianism. In one of his talks delivered at the town hall in Bombay in 1882, he said, and I quote, "In Zoroastrianism, the Parsi is as carefully taught to eschew and fight against the powers of the evil spirits of darkness, as to cultivate intimacy with and win the protecting favor of the personified good principles of nature. By fighting with the evil, we are personified by the principle of nature." Now I will talk something about Parsis of India, mainly, of course, Bombay. How will one identify a Zarthushti? Zarthushti is the religious name, and Parsis is an ethnic. Because we came from Paras, we landed in Samjan, so we were known as Parsis. Every Zarthushti must wear Sudre and Kustis. Sir, please show that. This is the Naujot ceremony is being done, and this vest is the Sudre with a small pocket in front. I will talk about it. Every Zarthushti must wear a Sudre and Kusti. Kusti is a girdle. There is an initiation ceremony called Naujot, meaning new entrant. Now means new, and Jyoti is entrant. So Naujot meaning new entrant. Every girl and boy between the ages of 7 and 11 has to pass through an initiation rite, that is Naujot, formally embracing the religion of Zarathustra. The initiate has to recite certain prayers along with the priest. Then the child is presented with two emblems. The first is Sudre, a vest made of white cotton fabric. The picture is given here. In front of the neckline, there is a small pocket called Gireban, which signifies collection of virtues done during the whole day, and virtuous deeds are collected in this pocket. This signifies the armor to fight against the evils. The second emblem is Kusti. You can see the priest who is holding the girdle, which they are going to tie on their waist. And it is tied to the waist, that is the middle part of the body, signifying moderation in everything and also to fight evils. Sudre and Kusti play a vital part in the development of an overall personality, and so it is mandatory that a Zarthushti must wear Sudre and Kusti all the time, day and night, 24/7, and do the Kusti ritual prayer in all 5 days, that is time period. It is customary that heads is covered by men, women, and children while praying and at every religious ceremony. All the prayers, sir, please show the picture of Gathas and Khorde Avastha. The books, religious books, yes. These are the Gathas, and it is written in Gujarati Khorde Avastha, holy books in Avastha language. All the prayers which are in ancient language are based on mitra, that is thought force, and mantra, that is sound vibrations. The daily prayer book is called Khorde Avastha, has all the important prayers praising the bountiful manifestations of Ahura Mazda. However, the three short and most effective prayers are Yatha Ahuvairyo, Ashimvahu, and Yenge Hatam, which are said to be the words coming from the mouth of Prophet Zarathustra himself. There are extracts of long prayers known as nirangs or capsules, which are also very effective. In these days, people have no time to open the books and start reading. That is why short extracts have been taken out from these prayer books, and it made easier for them to do the prayers. There are special prayers for each natural element, that is sun, moon, sky, stars, air, water, earth, and fire. A Zarathustra calendar has 12 months, each month representing Ameshaspantas and their helpers. Yes, you have seen those Ameshaspantas. There are female Ameshaspantas as well as male. Female and male had no distinction in those days. There are 30 days of month, also has a name of these holy immortals. The last 5 days of a year are called gathas. The 5 gathas are the divine hymns. Is said to be the conversation I said earlier between Ahura Mazda, the Almighty, and Prophet Zarathustra, which forms important part of prayers. Apart from that, there are liturgical prayers of Yasna, Visparad, and Mandidad, which are recited by the priest during higher ceremonies or rituals in fire temples. A day is divided into 5 parts according to the time period called Ghehs, G-E-H-S. They are Havan, Rapitvan, Uziran, Ivisutram, and Hussein Geh. Starting from sunrise to sunset are the first 3 Ghehs, and the last 2 from sunset to next day's sunrise. Esoterically, these signify the journey of the human soul, starting with the awakening to finally when it arrives to attain the adaptation. Madame Blavatsky, in her article on Zoroastrianism in the Theosophy 4, says, Ahura Mazda himself issued from Zarvane Akarne, that is the boundless circle of time, or to the unknown cause. The glory of the latter is too exalted, its light too resplendent for either human intellect or mortal eye to grasp and see. As I told you, these earlier elders were so enamored by this aspect of Zoroastrianism that they have given innumerable examples. Not only our Theosophists, but even Rabindranath Tagore, I forgot, very many saints of Hindu religions. Swami Vivekananda. All these also have exalted the religion of Zoroastrianism, but because it is in such ancient language that it has lost its importance. Marriage ceremony is also given great importance. Marriage is not a contract, but a sacred union of 2 souls and an obligation on part of each other to consider it as the lifelong tie. Wedding is performed by 2 priests in front of 2 witnesses, 1 each from the bride and the groom. These prayers are mostly the sermons for the young couple to lead a life of purity, righteousness, and tolerance. The priest blesses the couple of healthy life with prosperity and advice for increasing of the progeny. Just now we saw, I said that there are priests. Now, how the priests are made. Navar, meaning the navigator. Every religion has their own priests whose duty is to learn the scriptures, teach the precepts of religion, perform the liturgical ceremony, and guide their flock. That is for every religion. In Zoroastrianism, priesthood is hereditary. Only a son of a priest can be ordained as priest. A youth who is between 11 and 15 years has to learn certain prayers by heart prior to the Navar ceremony, that is priesthood ceremony. He has to remain in the fire temple premises, wherever it is, in whichever place, not only in Udwara, in any place. He has to stay in the fire temple premises in the strict seclusion and continue to do the assigned prayers in all 5 time place, that is gaze. The preparatory period is of almost 24 days. The final ceremony of Navar is witnessed by the family members and friends. However, for certain liturgical prayers, ceremonies, further studies of the scriptures are to be done by the aspirant. Now, life after death. Life after death and the ceremony to be performed. According to the Zarthushtis, a human being does not have only one body. There are 7 bodies, as we have seen in Theosophy. They are 4 mortal bodies, perishable. First, Tanu, that is physical. Kehrab, that is etheric. Ushtan, which is vital force. And 4th, Tevishi, that is astral body. And 3 immortal bodies. Uruvan, that is causal incarnating soul. Bodhan, buddhic intuitions. And Fravashi, that is monad, the divine spark. It does not incarnate, but remains as a guardian angel, also known as Farohar. This winged emblem you all must have seen on the entrance of the fire temple, as well as some of the Parsi premises. I will show you that little later. At death, the Tanu, that is physical body, is cast aside along with the Kerab, that is etheric double. And Ushtan, that is vital life force, leaves the body and returns to the sun. 2 priests say the prayer of the first Gatha Ahunavaiti, which is very effective in separating the soul from the Maya and desires of this world. Sir, please show the picture of Tower of Silence. Yeah. This is the Tower of Silence. It is something like a well, and there are some, what you call, the Tower of... 2 priests say the prayer of first Gatha, which is very effective in separating the soul from the Maya and desires of this world. Then the body is consigned to Tower of Silence. It is the open so that the birds of prey, and more importantly, the sunlight and air can do the work of decomposition as quickly as possible. We call it in our Gujarati, Dungarwadi, because it is always on the higher hillock, so that away from the population. But unfortunately in India, and especially in Bombay, it has not become so very effective. especially after the builders have started building high-rise buildings nearer to this place. Nowadays, due to absence of birds of prey, many Zarthushtris prefer cremation, as Ratan Tata did. And that is why a special cremation hall has been built up very recently, since last 5-6 years, so that Zarthushtris who would like to get themselves cremated can go there, because near this Tower of Silence, there is no provision for cremation. However, all the prayers and ceremonies are the same, whether you are cremated or whether you are put on the Tower of Silence, and are done for 3 days. And on the dawn of 4th day, higher liturgical prayers are done by the priest in fire temples. After 3 days, the prayers are all done in the fire temples, whether it is cremated or whether it is assigned to the Tower of Silence. On the 4th day, higher liturgical prayers are done by the priest in fire temples as the soul reaches the bridge of the separator, Chinvat Pool. Pool is a bridge. So when that bridge is reached, where the archangel Sarosh with his assistant Rashnu weighs the deeds done on earth, and its further journey is accordingly decided. This is what our scriptures say. On the 4th day, it is decided whether the person should go to the heaven or to the hell. Good many prayers and ceremonies are done for the departed souls during the first year of their passing away. There is a belief that departed souls collectively attend special prayers during the last 10 days of Zoroastrian calendar called Muktad. Muktad, Mukti of Atma. During these days, flowers, fruits, and incense are offered, and prayers are done by the family members of the departed souls, as well as the priest in the fire temples. It is said that these souls feel very happy that they are remembered, and they in turn bless their relations. Zarthushtri emblem of Farohar. Sir, please show the last emblem, Farohar Fravashi. Yes, this is Farohar Fravashi, or as we say in Theosophy, monad. Zarthushtri emblem, the guardian angel monad. This is the sacred emblem and is widely used on the facades of temples or any holy place of Zoroastrian importance. Depicted in architecture as a winged bird, you will feel that it is a winged bird, is the spirit, the divine spark, monad, which does not incarnate but remains as a guardian angel. It is the center of will, determination, and planning faculty. The right hand which you cannot see, it is that side, indicates the path of Asha, perfect balance of harmony and peace. The left hand has a circular ring, which shows no beginning nor end, that is eternal. And lastly, the wings, the path that chose to soar higher or willed to grow. From this talk, it can be surmised that Zoroastrianism, if studied deeply, one will find many similarities with the study of Theosophy and science. In the end, I will tell you this anecdote, which I had heard many years ago in a lecture by a scientist working for Baba Atomic Research Center. Mind well, very highly placed scientist and also an erudite scholar of Zoroastrianism and an ordained priest named Dr. Karkhanawala, Minoche Karkhanawala. He said that when I was young, I was told by elders that our religion is based on science. That is, Zoroastrianism is based on science. But as I grew up, he continues, as I grew up and studied science in detail, I realized that science is based on my religion, Zoroastrianism. Wonderful. In the book of Seven Great Religions of the World, Dr. N.E. Besant said, "Oh, my Parsi brothers, your prophet is not dead. He is not perished. He is watching over the religion that he founded, ever seeking to rise it from its present state, to give it back its lost knowledge, its lost powers, and its lost glory." Thank you. Here I end my talk.
Thank you so much, Abanji. Yes, there was a lot of parallels between Theosophy and Zoroastrianism, the multifold body, the seven Amesh Pintas.
Ameshas Pantas.
Ameshaspantas, very similar to the, I think, the seven flames that came from Venus and so many other things. I think it's also one of the first religions which talked about good behavior or good conduct as a way of life. So that was something which was not like there were most of the religions at that time were all about superstition and sacrifice, animal sacrifice, and all that. But this religion talked about that you have to, your action speaks more than anything else. So your good conduct,
Yes,
good deeds,
yes, it
good.
is.
These are great teachings of Zoroastrianism. We are almost ended. Our time is over. But if anybody wants to say something, Jitendra Sampaji has mentioned in the chat, fantastic presentation indeed. Please share the recording to us so we can share with non-TS members. Surely, yes, it will be shared. Firoza and Zeno Masterji, they are saying thank you, Aban, for an enlightening session. Grateful to the organizers. Uh, Anybody else wants to?
If any questions for anyone, I will be there to answer to the best of my ability. Because,
my Abanji, my point
yes,
is
sir.
question out of curiosity. Is there anyone or any body in Iran still they are following the person?
Yes, yes, sir, there are. But you know, they are all are in one small place called Yazd. Because even today, they are persecuted. I mean, they are harassed rather than persecuted, I would say. And that is why they want to be in one community, in one place only. But there are fire temples in many towns like Tehran and Yazd and all those places. A big fire temples is also there. But then there, you know, they have the priests also. They have even ladies also as priests in Iran. And many Orientalists from Europe and America have been studying this religion still today. Many a times they go there to find out how this oldest of the old religion, one of the oldest, I think Hinduism and Zoroastrianism were contemporary religions.
Yes, sir.
And Abrahamic religions have followed Zoroastrianism, like Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. They have followed Zoroastrianism. Zoroastrianism is a religion which has come from Aryan race. Zoroastrianism and Hinduism are Aryan religions.
Yes,
Whereas those three, the Judaism, Christianity and Islam are the Abrahamic religion, taken the name after Abraham of Judahs, of Hebrews. And they in Islam they call Ibrahim.
Okay, thank you.
So there are still there, yes, there are there. But not as many as here. As it is, Zoroastrians are very few in the whole world.
Oh,
But there are many who are in Russia nowadays, but we have to just explore all those things, you know.
yes. Thank you so much.
Anyone else? Because time is up. I'm sorry I've
Yes.
taken a little longer.
No,
I
no
tried to
problem. Very
precise it.
interesting thing.
Avanji, I read this somewhere that Ratan Tata, the Tata families 1,000 years ago were actually priests.
Must have been, because you know they come from a priestly they must be coming from priestly family of Navsari. Navsari is one place which is very close to Udwada, where the highest of the high fire was kept for certain time, and it was known as Dharamni Tekdi. Dharma, religion. Tekdi means hill of mountain of religion. But later on, for some reason or the other, the fire was taken to Udwada, and now the highest fire is there. But Navsari has got many erudite scholars and priests also. But once the son does not become priest, till 3 generations it is allowed, and then they don't allow. That is maybe the reason why Ratan Tata or JRD Tata, they all had not become priests. They were busy with some other things, because to
Yes,
become a
yes.
priest now, it is a very hard life they have to lead.
Right. Okay, Avanji, thank you very much. Bimal, you can close.
Thank you very much, all
Thank
of you.
you, Aban. Thank you. Wonderful talk.
Thank you. I must say thank you to Pradeep ji for giving this opportunity to speak for my religion. I
Okay.
thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Avanji. Thank you, everybody, for joining today. Let us all join together in closing prayer. Sarve bhavantu sukhina, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukha bhave. Om Shanti, Shanti.
Yeah.